Well, hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is a course recon of the Coastal Crown Loop. This is being done ahead of tomorrow night's race against Vikings Valhalla. No, sorry, my apologies. Vikings Valgrind, I should say. A team that my Coalition Yedex team are going to be racing as part of the ladder race series on Zwift. I'm not out on course yet, but I will be in just a minute. Getting slightly prepped and warmed up. I'm feeling a bit stiff, if I'm honest with you. Don't expect this one will be done at race pace, but I'll be sort of looking to pay special attention, should we say, to certain parts of the course where we feel that moves might go away. So, right, let's just do a quick group ride event. Suggested group ride. No, just let me choose the route, please. Cool. Coastal Crown Loop. Okay. Date and time today at 14:05. We will allow late join. If I can actually, where is it? Who's your rider? That's me. Who's your ride sweeper? Late join is allowed. There we go, publish event. Okay. Maybe I have to set this at 2:10 then. We should be a bit more prepared for this one. Right, and then plus, and hopefully that will appear bottom left hand corner of my screen now. Now? How about now? No. That's weird. So ordinarily what would happen is create an event, get to attend it. There we go, 3 minutes. So let's just go into the pen now and I can do some talking. So yes, Coalition Yedex are going to be racing against the Vikings Valhalla team in the Ladder League series tomorrow evening. That's Friday at 6:30 PM UK time. It's a 5-on-5 series. It's going to be a lot of fun. And my team and I have been discussing like how are we going to approach this one, what we're going to do. There's a couple of big major climbs, a couple of big descents as a result. What goes up must come down, hey? And of course there's a couple of flat sections. What is not shown on the Zwift Insider page is what the lead-in looks like, which I believe is sort of 8.6 kilometers, so a significant amount of the 23 kilometers total. So that's going to be a big part of this. So let's have a quick look at Zwift Insider. So Coastal Crown Loop itself is only a 15-kilometer course, but if you add in the lead-in, which is 8.6 kilometers, as I mentioned, it's 23.6k. So what we need to work out is where are we going to go, and or where may the Vikings choose to attack and go. So basically the sort of key points of the race, the parts of the course where something may happen that we need to be alive and alert to. So the objective is both to identify what we'll basically need to defend against, or where we may need to defend and where we may need to attack. For the uninitiated on Zwift who are watching this, welcome and thank you. But this is largely intended for the Coalition Yedex riders. So what you may want to do is watch this at 1.5 times speed instead, and it'll get you through the video much quicker. You can probably jump ahead also to the 5 minutes 20 point of this video, and I'll take you to me rolling off the start line. I'm going to leave the camera view like this so that you can see me next to the course rather than going into race mode, where all sorts of cool music kicks in, but there's going to be some commentary from me en route as we're going round. So let's leave it as is for now. I'm on the wrong bike, I just realised. Let's oh no, wrong one. Let's go for, I think, garage, Pinot Dogma. always in the Zwift colours because it more closely matches the coalition kit. So 10 seconds ago, here we go. That's right. So like I say, first 8.6 kilometres are going to be very much a case of what have we got. In fact, what I may do is just close off this map for a minute to see the in-world map that's on from Zwift instead. So nice and flat as we leave the start pen. I don't believe we go up the grade, do we? Just that big old road up in front of me right now. So obviously we'll be going a lot faster than this on race day. Well, I hope we will. I still feel a bit cooked at the moment, to be honest with you. Right, we turned left. Still going flat. So either absolutely nothing will happen up to this point, or it'll be explosive and they'll try and get away early. I don't think it'll be anything in between. I've not got any of my fans on, so you get very hot here on this one for this Recon. So I can see on the map in the top right hand corner that the lead-in is fairly flat, which is good news. Hopefully that means that we can spend the first part of the course just rolling along, seeing what the Vikings have to offer and settle down, and then the race really kicks off in earnest on the two climbs, the Itza climb and the Mayan Mountainside KOM, which is the secondary climb. But of course the reward for all the climbing up the Itza KOM is a fairly long and fast descent, steep descent, down the grade, where you are sure to achieve a super tuck. So for the heavier riders, I include myself in that, at 80 kilos in weight, that will either be a chance to catch back on, or to, if I'm thinking more ambitiously, to increase a gap. We shall see. Right, 1.6k in pretty much, 1 mile. So far, 3 meters climbed. So I'm thinking it will be uneventful up to here. Again, if you're watching this for the Recon purposes of Recon, watching this video at 1.5 times speed on YouTube will be the best way to consume it. Okay, 2 kilometers, small bump, followed by what looks like a nice steady downhill. So 2 kilometers may be the first point at which we have some action. If someone wants to go early, or if there's a heavy, powerful rider who wants to get away early for the climb, that may be opportunity number 1. 1.9 or 2 kilometers in. So mark that to make a note. Trying to maintain the speed here where I can actually talk and not have to turn the fans on, because of course once these 3 fans go on and the one behind me, the mic will pick up all sorts of sounds and it will diminish your viewing experience. So, do we get a power up at 3K? Let's see. Yes, we do. So, depending on the rider type, some will be hoping for feather, some will be hoping for the aero power up. So I guess the heavier riders who can put out a bit more power will probably want the feather for the climb, because they'll be okay on this next pretty much 5K now to the bottom of the Itza climb. So they'll be praying for a feather for the climb, and the lighter riders really will have the luxury of not being too concerned whether they get the feather or the aero power up. So good for them, not for me. I'll be praying for the feather. Right onto the bridge at 3.8k. So still flat, 13 meter climbed to this point, with really only one small bump at circa 2 kilometers. So only those with a big performance delta, a big engine, would be the likely candidates who want to go at this point or at any point up to now. I would suggest that, depending on who goes from the Vikings, that we let them go. If they're a powerful but heavier rider with a watts per kilo that we are not concerned about, I think we let them go, knowing that we've got a big old climb coming up where we may catch them. If their tactic is to try and lure us out and we fall for it, there's a strong chance that at this point we could start pushing harder than what we want to and burn a few matches before the climb's even begun. So keep it steady, hold your nerve is probably the key at this point. Okay, so the speed at this point has been relatively average, going too hard up to 5k, 3.6 kilometers of the lead in left to go, and that's when things go up. And I'm starting to sweat already. 11 degrees Celsius in the garage right now. No fans. So I think we've got another arch coming up, which means we get another power up. So if we've got an arrow like I have now and haven't needed it, if all 10 riders are still together, you've got a decision to make. You can either hold on to this arrow if you want, or like I'm about to, if you've got a feather, it may just be worth holding on to it. Or like I'm about to, use it right at the arch and then get yourself another power up in the bank. Okay, aero used. Now I've got the draft. So for me, that's probably somewhat optimal. So I can use the draft power up on the climb. So. Right. We are now 6k in. There we go. 2.6k to go. 6k in, there's a small descent, which is visible on the map, on the route profile on the top right there. So 6k might also be a point at which the opposition choose to make a move. Because this goes down and then immediately pretty much back up again. So at this point, even though we're about to go uphill, this is still the lead-in. So here we go, 6.6k, go across the sprint line. That might be a trigger for some to make a move. So we're at 3% right now, climbing up to 4. Yep, there we go. Right, 7k in exactly, goes up to 5. For 100 meters or so. Gonna ease off here a bit. Right, so a very short bit of respite there. One K to the end of the lead-in. Oh, I'm dripping with sweat here. 8k goes up again. 6%. Okay, so tough going. Bit of respite at the top, but lasts for how long? So, depending on how the opposition feel and what work they've done, this will be where you can either recover and hold on and sit in, or maybe even go again. But given that we are about to go uphill once more, I feel that the former might be the better choice. Now, I didn't use my power up there, so I don't know if you get another power up under the polka dot banner at the end of that lead in, but I'll find out online and let you know. In fact, if you check the comment or the description below this video, I'll let you know. Right, so steady 2% grade here. Could be a place where recovering riders at 8.7 kilometers are caught out if they're not careful. My little kicker coming up. See myself starting to steam now. Oh, might need to turn this fan on in a minute. Oh. Right, kicker's coming any second now. I think it says you bear the right. Here we go. Oh. So there's a chance there at 9.2k to get a bit of speed going on that little -1% drop, and then carry that into this at 9.3k. And then got to be really alert, because just before it turns to 9.5k, kicks up to nearly 5%. Oh, goes over, fluctuates a bit there. And then we get onto a little bump before we start that It's a KOM. So this will be a chance, I think, for an attack at 9.6k, potentially. So after the lead in, 9.6k is the first chance to really go, because you can gun it downhill, carry the speed and momentum up over the little bump that follows this descent, which you'll see in just a second. So I'm going easy right now, but of course in the race we'll be going quite hard here, I imagine. So this picks up just a little bit, probably not enough move enough for an attack, but if you've not built up any speed there, it's going to be even worse for you, because this little climb here will scrub some speed. So the more that we can carry into it from 9.6k, the better. So 9.6, gun it hard, so maybe 10.3, and then we are back on the uphill climb, the It's a climb. So here we go. So the first bit is nice and steady, with a flat at the top, and then it kicks up, and then it's downhill. So you've got to make this bit count, really. Oh, my fan's going on, sorry. Oh. Oh, Feels so much better with the fan turned on. Whew. We've got 2 of my 3 fans on right now. Right, here's the kick. 7%. Right, so recover, and then at the top of this bit here, 11.3 kilometers. Time to get some speed going for the next big climb. I didn't do that, of course, because this is a Recon. So I need to know at the top of this one, do we get a power up? So at 11.9k, where it becomes super intense, if we are still all bunched up, this may be where we want the Vikings to go in the front of us so that we can recover for a moment, because the steeper gradients I'm about to call out might be a key point in this route. So as we get to 12.2, we're pretty much off the bridge, I think, and back onto the road. Here we go. Yeah, 12.3 kilometers might be the point at which we attack again. We're up to 8.5%. Up to 11%. Oh! Put it on the downhill at 12.7. Push on. Under the polka dot at 12.9k for a power up. Aero. Another tube kit, cool. So this is where we're going to want to really gun it to get some speed. Give it a little push. Hard right to the grade. And recover. So, plenty of points there at which we can attack and be attacked. So we're going to need to make sure that we are alert and ready. Ideally on this part here, we want to be pedaling hard at the top and get to about 80 kilometers per hour. We're going 76 at the moment, so not too fast. But it's my experience on this course that the flat that follows at the bottom of this bit here is quite key. Again, especially if you're a heavier rider that's managed to keep up with the featherweights, because if your power numbers are good, there's no real climbs to give the featherweight climbers an advantage over you. So this is where you're going to want to push. So 15k into the ride, 8.5k to go. So it's going to be quite a front-loaded race in terms of action. So the idea will be to really make sure that we're not pulling our opponents along and giving them anything of a free ride. I've got a feather at this point, and that's the power up I want for the last climb. But I think at the next two banners coming up that I'll get more power up. So I'm going to use the feather power up in a second. I would not ordinarily in the race, obviously. There's no climb significant enough to warrant that. But I do want to see if we get power ups going under these banners. Right. Like I say, I definitely would not recommend using the feather power up there. But a banner is ahead of me, so I'm confident that there are 6 banners who get power ups in this course. Right, let's see. This is a sprint section, not a banner, so yeah, holding on to the feather would have been the most smart thing to do there. So definitely not 6, maybe 5 banners. There's a banner coming up now, I think. Oh, that sprint section wasn't a banner, right? Maybe there are 6. Let's see. 17.9k. Goes downhill just a little bit, leading into the banner. So, yep, power up, good. So, this might be the point at which you want to make a tactical decision. If you get the aero power up, like I have, but you want the feather, you're going to want to use it before the next banner and hope for a feather. If you get a feather, and that's what you want, you might just want to hold on to it, even though we've got one more banner to come. Right, 18.5k. We go uphill ever so slightly. It's not steep, but it's a bit of a drag here, so a stronger finisher could choose to go a little bit long here, or a strong non-climber might want to get a head start, so might choose to go at that point. Oh, so this Recon has just turned into a bit of a race, because I've just been told I've got the school run to do. So I've got to finish the next couple of minutes. Let's go. So, one more banner coming up. Right. Oh, 20.3, it gets to nearly 4%. So that's maybe an opportunity for someone to stamp on the pedals. Right, final banner, about 20.6. There we go. Further power up, hopefully. Nope. I've got the most useless one. Fortunately, I think we've got aero and feather as our power ups, I think. I'll have to double check that. When I say that the giraffe power up is the most useless, it's not. But to me right now, as the only rider here, it is. Right, 21k exactly. This is where this little dip begins before it immediately goes back uphill again. Right, final climb, 2k. People will be winding up right there, ahead of the foot of the climb. Okay, 23.3 sprint. I'm not going to do that because I'm knackered. Okay, so that's the end of the Recon. Post-Recon notes and chatter are over on Discord, so see you there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.